And next up is the category that we spoke about earlier. We were talking about RPGs. That has all but gone away at this point. Yeah. Just finding nominees for action-adventure, which used to be the biggest genre in the industry by a mile. Everything was an action-adventure not that long ago. Has become really, really difficult. I mean, if we had to, like back at GT, we would do 5 nominees for each category and then pick a winner. We could even do that with this genre really this year. I mean, finding 5 nominees that are worth giving a nomination to.
Yeah, you'd have to cross some lines here and there. You'd have to probably pull Zelda in. You'd probably have to pull like a couple platformers in. Yep. And sort of fudge that. You know, it's weird.
Yeah, so it's a dying genre, and maybe next year we don't even have
Damn, you experience points.
Yeah, I know. And maybe next year we don't even really have this category. This may be the last year we ever pick Best Action Adventure. But we're going to do it one last time for 2017. So, Matt, what is your choice?
My choice is, what do I say? Oh, yeah. Uncharted Lost Legacy.
It's a good pick.
Which is a turnaround from Uncharted 4, which I did not like much at all last year. But I thought this was a return to form. And I like Chloe a lot, and obviously this focuses on Chloe, so it's her story for the most part. And I liked how it unfolded. I liked the mystery thereafter. I liked the relic stuff they're going for. I liked learning more about her, and you know the gameplay was more straightforward, or less kind of like, you know, dicking around with Sam Drake and driving jeeps. I mean, there is some of that, but it didn't feel as aimless.
They also did tweak it a little bit as far as like what the. I mean, I wouldn't call it an open world game. But they do inch a little closer to that in this DLC.
Yeah, it does the same thing that Uncharted 4 did, where like you have, oh, here's a big open place in a Jeep, and you have to go to the different places there and find stuff. And this was a little more optional than that, because I think Uncharted 4 sort of drove you to each place. Yep. And this one is like, you have to go to this place, but if you go to all these other ruins, you can get the optional stuff and get a cool thing, like the bonus item, basically. Yeah. And that was nice. You know, it felt a little more like I was in control, and I felt like Uncharted 4 was just sort of pulling me along too much.
Absolutely.
And the big finale
gives the player a little more agency.
Yeah, and the big finale is really cool. I actually think there's the big finale on a train, which I think actually outdoes Uncharted 2's train sequence in a lot of ways. Which is
them's fighting words, Kyle.
Well, Uncharted 2's train sequence is one of the most impressive things ever made.
Ever made in the medium, yeah.
And this one kind of ups that in some places, and maybe it doesn't quite get there in terms of investment, in terms of the character, because you know, like the build on why you're doing what you're doing in Uncharted 4 is probably a little more compelling than what's happening in this one. But technologically, it's, you know, they're taking what they learned in 2 and, you know, plussing it, you know, giving it another level to it, and it's really cool, really impressive, and it actually, I really enjoyed having what's her name? Nadine? Yeah. She feels about Sam Drake the way I do, and so that was a very vindicating, not vindictive, also vindictive, but vindicating experience where like, you find out that she just hates him, and I'm just like, I'm right there with you. Like, and so that was a lot of fun. It acknowledged. I felt like it was acknowledging a couple of the shortcomings of Uncharted 4 and kind of bringing it back to the Indiana Jones style spectacle. And I really appreciated what they did with this game.
Gorgeous,
beautiful.
Still,
beautiful
that
game.
Engine is just a beast.
Beautiful environments. There's like moments where Chloe just goes like, "Wow,"
and
like, and you're going, "Wow," too. You know,
like, look at the lighting on her scarf there. How the light is creating shadows on the scarf.
And now she's in a shadow, and like it changes the color of the scarf because it's Naughty Dog is
wizards.
They don't call them naughty gods for nothing.
That's true. Yep. So that's your pick. My pick for Best Action Adventure, and Matt mentioned a little bit earlier, a little bit of foreshadowing to my pick for this.
I didn't actually even think of that when I said that. I was thinking about like ukulele or something.
Yeah. Well, because this category is kind of thin for 2017, and not just this year, but other years as well, I did actually slide in something that maybe you guys may not agree with being in this category, but my pick for Best Action Adventure for 2017 is Super Mario Odyssey. There's no way we're going to have a 3D platformer category. Right. Although if we were going to have one, this year may have been the year where we might have been able to make it happen.
Yeah, but you know,
there's a Hat in Time.
But you know,
Super
this
Lucky's
game
Tale.
really does like blur the boundary between platformer and action adventure in a way I don't think any other Mario game, at least 3D Mario game, has.
Yeah, this actually has a lot more adventure in it than a lot of prior Marios. Where a lot of Mario games, you just kind of have that hub that connects all the levels together. This does feel more like an organic sort of living world than prior 3D
Especially
Mario
the post
games.
game.
Yeah. And I mean, and to be perfectly honest with you, there's no way I was going to be able to do a Best of 2017 without being able to find some way to recognize this game in a genre category. We weren't going to have a 3D platformer category, so I squeezed it in here.
Really, either this or Best Mario Game.
Right, exactly. So hate me all you want. This game is freaking awesome. I love it. I am still playing this game. I think I said prior on Game Face that it may be the first Mario game I don't get 100%. That I may end up doing that now. I may make it. And Matt had some criticisms of it that it does kind of cheapen the sense of accomplishment you get when you used to get a star or something in other 3D Mario games, because they do kind of give away the moons all willy-nilly. But when you start diving into this game, man, you start finding moons that you definitely get the sense of accomplishment when you get them, man. Because some of them are really, really freaking challenging. And in some ways, almost like impossibly frustrating. But again, as with this genre, in a lot of cases, the gameplay variety in this game is just all over the map. And all of it just feels perfect and works great.
This is a really disturbing sequence.
Yeah, it really is.
This whole frog tube.
This is also the sequence that will send up the content flags on YouTube, which means we won't be able to monetize this episode. But whatever. This is a Game of the Year award, damn it. And if I cannot show Super Mario Odyssey when I give it an award, then I don't know what to say. It's like, what? Even then, Nintendo's going to take the money for us giving its game an award. But yeah, Super Mario, if you haven't played it yet, or you decide maybe you burned out on 3D Mario games and you have a Switch, go buy the freaking game. Like, no matter what kind of games you're into.
I'm not even a huge proponent of this game. I felt it was pretty average for the most part to me. But if you have a Switch, get off your ass.
What are you thinking? Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That and Zelda are the stars of that system by far. And I'm also like a weird outlier with this game. So like, if you have that system, get it. If you're getting that system for Christmas, ask for this game with it. If you know someone who's getting this system for Christmas, buy this game for them. If they don't already have it.
The other thing about it too is that when you actually finish the single player, like, you're just getting started.
Oh, yeah. I think modern Mario games are all like that.
The surface of like the game if you finish like the
campaign. Mario games have been like that, I would say, since like New Super Mario Bros. 1. Like, you finish the main game and it's like, oh, you think you're done? Oh. No.
In this game,
here's a whole other game. Here's all these different challenges. Here's purple coins. Here's in this game, like, you should. I mean, really, the best way to play Odyssey is to beeline the story and then go back. And explore all the worlds thoroughly.
Because there's another part. The other part of that is that there are some things that they won't let you do until you finish the campaign. So yeah, I highly recommend that. Just beeline it, get the minimal amount of moons you need to go to each level, finish the quote unquote campaign, and then dive into really what the game is.
And then and put on his Mario's like Chicago gangster suit.
Yeah.
And play the rest of the game, because he looks real natural in that.
Really like does.
I think he.
Well, he is Italian. But the value you get out of this game is just insane, and you're never doing the same thing for very long. We've been doing a lot more streaming this year than we have in prior years, and you start to figure out like what games work on streams and what games don't. And this game works really well on a stream because you're never doing the same thing for very long. And if you do get tired of something and you're like, oh, I tried this 5 times and I couldn't get it, and maybe the people on the stream are getting restless, that's okay, because 30 virtual yards away, there's another moon that you can go for where you're doing something completely different. So I highly recommend this game. I can't imagine there are too many people that haven't bought it already, and I'm just preaching to the choir.
I would imagine it's mostly just people that have the Switches on their Christmas list.
Yeah, they're just waiting. Well, I'll say this: you're going to be very happy on Christmas morning or whatever you celebrate when you crack this baby open and put it in your Switch.
I will say, as someone who was more lukewarm on this game, the thing that kept me playing is like even about every 2 or 3 worlds, something really cool would happen.
Yeah.
And like I was getting, like early on, I was getting a little tired right around the time I got to New Donk City. And the New Donk City, like the first thing you do there, I thought was not all that engaging. But then there's the famous concert thing that we have to have that happen. And that is a great damn sequence.
It's a great moment.
It's a great like celebration of Mario, and it's kind of it feels like. It feels like this, because games don't really do that much anymore. It's like, let's just have fun. Let's just have a good time with this thing and like give the player a reward for being part of this. And it feels really good.
It also has kind of that Zelda element to it where just messing around with stuff and looking around and poking around and trying your abilities out in different places will unveil some really cool kind of hidden stuff. So I think when I finished this, quote unquote, finished the campaign, I had 1/9 of the total moons in the game. So it is absolutely gigantic. You'll definitely get your money's worth. You'll definitely have some,
how many of those moons
you'll definitely have some camera problems here and there.
How many of those moons were gotten by butt stomping a molehill?
Not that many, honestly.
80, 80 or 90.
I think that's the other thing, too, is when you get farther into the game, they don't give away the moons as easy. Like, you go to each level, maybe there's one that's just sitting there, whereas in the beginning, there's like 3 or 4.
Yeah, early in the levels, you're like, you have more moons than you need to get out of the level, but like just by like going where you need to go. Like, it's just, because, you know, if you're like me, you see anything that looks even vaguely out of the ordinary, you're like, I gotta mess with that. You know, and it's, you know, always it's a moon. Like, you're going to get a moon out of it. And
that does change as the game goes on, though. They make you earn them a little more. But another thing about this game, a great game for any age.
Yeah.
You know? We're older and we enjoy it. You don't have to be a kid to really enjoy this game. So,
yeah. But I think kids will enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You buy a kid this for Christmas, you won't see him for like a month. Literally. You give him this and put him in his bedroom with his Switch, you won't see him until you force him to come out of his bedroom.
Or
Guaranteed. Her. Or her, exactly. Good point.